Hi, Paul here. I'd like to talk about what it's like to record a vocal in the studio, a singer live with a band, but the singer actually wants to be out in the studio itself right next to the drums and guitars and all the stuff going on. Usually the drums are the only thing you're going to hear in the main studio a lot of times. When I'm engineering, the guitar amps are either goboed off to the side or they're in separate isolation rooms. But a pounding rock drummer slamming the cymbals and stuff and the singer is right next to the drums can be pretty challenging. But this is what's worked for me, and it works pretty effectively. I remember back when I was recording Rod Stewart and we were all doing live tracking, we would have 6 or 7 musicians on the floor, and he's out there with everybody right next to the drums. And the drummer is a full volume drummer, slamming cymbals and everything. This is what I did to get a great vocal performance that I could keep and use without it being all drums and cymbals and washing and room and everything going on. What I would do is I would take 2 vocal mics and put them side by side together. So I would have a 57 and a second 57, and I would put them right next to each other, just like this, and I would put a little space or foam or something so that the singer could easily grab the 57, and he would basically be looking at 2 capsules. The 2 capsules would look like something like this far apart, I would say, okay? But they were exactly parallel, okay? And I told Rod, do me a favor, this one vocal mic is the only one that's on. You have to sing into this one, but the one below it will be below. So what I would do is I would have the vocal mic here, but I would have the second mic here, so that it was below where he was singing. And being that they were 57s, he could stay right on it. They're pretty directional. So the majority of the sound would be going into the top 57, while the second 57 would be about this far away below his mouth. So that was mainly getting leakage of the room, of the drums, of the cymbal, and very, very little of his direct vocal mic that the 57 right over his mouth was getting. They're lightweight mics, so it was really easy for him to handle it. And I think I put a color tape on one so he knew which one was live and which one wasn't. And this is how I processed that. I did exactly the same processing. So I would have both those mics go into their preamps, same level gain, and I would have that compressed a little bit, and I would have those go to 2 separate tracks. Okay? What I would do then, after the takes were done, is I would run those up on the console and I would reverse the phase on the lower mic so that that was no longer going to share the same audio. Anything that was alike would be canceled out. Okay? So all the leakage that was the difference between what was here and what was there would cancel itself out, and I would end up bouncing that to a new track and re-recording that, and that new track had probably 80% less room in it than the actual mic, than the actual 57 that was just full on. So basically what I did is I took all the leakage and eliminated it from the main vocal sound, and now I had a vocal that was recorded right next to the drums, pounding away, but with a reduction of about 80% of all that noise. And a lot of that stuff is very usable. So it's a really effective way to have a singer just get excited and be right in the room with the drums and with the guitar players and the whole band. Like, that's how bands should play, all together and looking at each other. But to have the singer actually in a room and not in a vocal booth, I could have easily put him in an isolated vocal booth in the room, which you could do, but there's still the separation. They're just not the same excitement and energy when you're just wide open and can dance around the room and move, because anywhere you're moving, anywhere in the room, that whatever you're doing, jumping around, that second mic is right there, and it's going to be canceled out through the usage of phase. making it out of phase and ending up with a vocal. Another technique that I've used as far as a singer in the studio is sometimes it's great to have a singer in the control room with me because the communication's great, everything's great, and if they're not a headphone person and they're not really feeling, they don't feel like wearing the headphones. They just want the monitors, loud or medium loud at least, in the control room without wearing the headphones. They just feel more connected and they have more fun. So this is what I do in that situation. What I'll do is I will put a singer in front of a mic on a stand, and I will tape down that mic. And I will not move that microphone. So if it's just off to the side, let's say I'm sitting at a mixing desk and the singer's right to the side, I'll have that mic there and I'll have them sing away, but I say, let's get the mix really right. So whatever we hear here, that's your balance. I'm not going to change that balance. Whatever it is, that's it. Okay, and they go, okay, and we work on it, and they go, that feels really good. They sing, we do some takes, or they get the balance just right, and they go, this feels really good to me. I go, great, let's record. And I will record that singer doing multiple takes of that song, no problem. But the volume, the monitoring volume's not changing, and the mix isn't changing. At the end of the recording, what I'll do is I'll say, great, do me a favor and stand where you were standing in front of the mic, and don't move, and don't say a word. And I'll record an additional track with the same volume, the same mix, but the singer's not singing. And I will record the full pass. Now I have a track of basically that leakage, the same concept with the 257s on the mic. And what I will do is I will have that mic blended in with whatever the vocal comp is. I do my vocal comp, and then I blend in that track, and I reverse the phase and bounce that to a new track. And that too will have a huge part of all that leakage going is now eliminated. And I've got pretty much a pristine track that I can use to record in a record, to mix into a record, and I still have full control of adding delays and reverb and effects and, harmonizers, dimension Ds, whatever I'm going to do to that vocal. It's like it's a real pristine vocal, well recorded with, and the singer happened to have been wearing headphones, but they didn't wear headphones at all. Some people do it by putting two speakers, let's say two overtones, and flip the phase and have them sing with the two overtones right here because they like speakers. But to me, I don't know about you, but it feels really weird and uncomfortable to be standing between speakers that are out of phase. I just feel like it makes me jump out of my skin. It's really not a cool feeling. So this to me is a better solution for that, to have them hear a full frequency mix in the control room and have a lot of fun at the end of the day, have pretty much total isolation on the vocal, or the majority of that isolation on the vocals. So there you go. Hope that helps. And until the next time, cheers.